All-American. First team, bitch.
What is up? I'm NYJohn and I'm here with the Fnatic Raidcall Play Dota 2 Cup number 5. We're in the semifinals already, and we have Tabak Dota versus Team Suits. And we see bans already coming out, so it looks like JT have taken out Darkseer as well as Nature's Prophet, while Suits have taken out Naga Siren, Enigma, and Broodmother, and then the final ban from JT will be Lycan. So we're getting into the picking phase already. It went pretty quickly. They're going to pick up Leshrac with their first pick. Chen is available, but it looks like JT are going to take Morphling and Rubik. So going pretty quickly through the picking phase thus far. And we watched one game from JT yesterday, and they look pretty dominant, taking down Virtus Pro. And it has been well noted in the North American community that JT had one of the harder paths to make it to this point through the tournament. There are a bunch of high-caliber teams, and it seems like JT has to go through all of them before they can finally achieve success. This is a winner-takes-all tournament. $500 to first place, 0 to second. So it's important to win it. I think the finals are actually going to be best of 3. So a little bit of a redeeming quality is that you have an opportunity to try and, play a series against somebody to win that 500. Second place doesn't go home too salty. But now we're waiting for 2 picks from Suits. We'll see what they can bring out here. In the chat before the game, they said they were from Australia. So that's pretty cool, I guess. We're playing on US West server, which probably favors JT. I'm not sure where they're all from, but US West servers are pretty strong. And I want to thank everyone that joined me yesterday and everyone that tunes in. I don't have a Reddit post up today, but if anyone wants to tell their friends and stuff to tune in, that would be fine, and I'd really appreciate it. Some of my VODs got messed up and stuff, so they're actually disappeared. But today I'll make sure I don't have any of those issues, and everything will be available on my YouTube channel just for JT. And we'll see. Suits still sitting in these 2 picks. They're going to extra time all the way down to 35 seconds. It's going to be a Venomancer plus an Earthshaker, so really strong landing combination. And then the immediate response for JT will be tied. So tied Rubik and Morphling for JT. We'll see if they want to run that Rubik as a solo. I believe Tobacco soloed Rubik yesterday, so that may be their intention again. For Suits, Leshrac, Venomancer, and Earthshaker may indicate that Leshrac's going to be a more farm-intensive version of the hero. Bans coming out already. We have Queen of Pain and Shadow Demon taken out by the Dire. The Radiant take out Chaos Knight as well as Lone Druid. So I don't think I've seen Lone Druid in one game thus far throughout the Fnatic Raidcall tournament because he's been banned out so often. I followed VP for 3 or 4 games, and they would ban him out in their first 3 every time just to keep him out of the pool. Of course, he is a nuisance of a hero to deal with. And if you don't have to, why should you? But we're up to the 4th pick from Suits, and they're going to need some kind of aggressive carry look. They have Leshrac, they have Venomancer and Earthshaker. This could be some form of tri-lane. There are junglers available. Chen is still in the pool, Enchantress is still in the pool, and Enigma is out of the pool. So Chen and Enchantress, if they want to go for that look, but I think that would make them a little bit too weak. So instead, it may be an Invoker coming out here. He's going to be one of the possibilities. They can also go for a Brewmaster, something aggressive along those lines. Windrunner. They're going to pick a long lane solo and leave their aggressive hero for the last. So if Rubik is a solo mid and Morphling is going to be the carry, and we have tied long lane probably. Most North American teams love throwing him in that capacity. Chen could still be selected here. I think he would be a pretty good option. Hand of God is so strong. When we see it dominate a lot of team fights. They could also go for another support. Crystal Maiden still in the pool. Works well with Morphling. Lich has been more popular as of late. I think a lot of teams have been looking at him. Especially yesterday, we saw Lich in like 4 out of 6 of my games or something along those lines. So a couple options are out there. Good options, that is. Sand King is still out there as well, and Invoker is still in the pool. So he can always come out and find a spot for him. Rubik doesn't have to be that solo. I just suspect that he will be. Once again, thank you for tuning in. I'm NYJohn from GoForDota.com. And we're about to get into the semi-final Fnatic Raidcall action. 10 seconds left in... Oh no, a minute left in their reserve time. Only 11 seconds left in the opposition's reserve time. But it's not coming into play quite yet. Whitebeard thinking carefully about the selection. At this point, it's going to... Ooh, Invoker pick. So Rubik may have just transitioned to support. And Tide, of course, was always going to be support, but...
Tinker.
We'll see. Tinker is going to be the final pick from... Wow. So Tinker's going to round up Suits, and then Crystal Maiden will round up JT. This is not what I expected. Tinker, a good option. Very interesting. They're very magic damage reliant on the Dire team. The Radiant, meanwhile, have a good distribution of magic to physical. Morphling is there. They also have Invoker. If he goes Exhort, he can hit pretty hard normally. But a lot of magic damage coming out from this Dire squad. And we'll see how it's going to work out. And here, people are selecting up their heroes now. We're about to get into the game. Once again, thank you for joining me. Today it is sunny outside in New York. It looks really nice, actually. There's no thunderstorms, so I shouldn't have any issues at all.
10 seconds remaining.
Which is going to be nice for once. And a pause immediately, as Orange has not selected his hero. It will be Windrunner. I'll go over who's playing what for JT, though. Josh Tabak Dota, of course, up-and-coming team. They won the SCCS last Sunday. Now they're looking to take a victory in this Fnatic Raidcall tournament. Would be worth $500 for a 2-day tournament. Not a bad deal at all. In fact, I would love to have $500 for 2 days. We have Rubik being played by Whitebeard. Rolo's going to be on the Crystal Maiden. Morphling being played by Smurf. Tobacco on Invoker. And Derp on Tidehunter. So Rolo yesterday played a nice support Shadow Shaman. But boy, he got punished for doing that role. He dropped almost a dozen times. We also saw Derp on the same role, the long lane Tidehunter. He did a good job of staying alive. He had 1 or 2 Ravages that were really off base, but as the game progressed, JT found a really strong team fight against VP and then just took that straight to the bank. They got a Rax off the back end of a team wipe in the middle lane, and it worked out very well in their favor. Meanwhile, for the Radiant team, we have Fantasy on Earthshaker, K-Phony on Tinker, Sicko playing the Windrunner, Helix will be playing Leshrac, and that leaves Tiborson playing Venomancer. And as always, if I'm mispronouncing names, I apologize, but I have no idea how to pronounce these names properly. So forgive me. And here we go as we rotation to the top lane. It's going to be 5 heroes from JT. They're going to head towards their own jungle. It looks like the opposite to be had from Suits. They're going to head towards the bottom, actually just all go to their normal lanes. Helix is going to head mid with that Leshrac. That should be an interesting approach. It's going to be a tough lane against an Invoker unless he plays very well. The bottom's going to be a tri-lane. It's going to feature the Tinker. They're going to try and get in that free farm and also allow some roaming coming out from Earthshaker as well as Venomancer. Meanwhile, on the top, it's going to be... They haven't split off yet, so it's hard to decipher, but I believe it's just going to be Crystal Maiden and Morphling. Rubik a little bit more roaming. Derp go ahead into the bottom lane. Tobacco in the middle. Or at least that's what looks like it's panning out to be. An aggressive ward placed by Maiden in this top lane. And nothing else to come of that, so everyone going to calm down and back off a little bit. Windrunner decides to pick up 4 Iron Branches and a couple Tangos, so not as much regen as you want on a Windrunner. Perhaps one more salve would have been nice to have, and it's definitely going to be a difficult lane, as it always is, against that Morphling. Windrunner can still hold their own in that lane, of course, but it looks like actually JT are going to run an aggressive tri-lane featuring the Tidehunter. No, Whitebeard's going to stay towards the top. DD in the river is going to be picked up by Sicko. And if Sicko windruns, he can put some more damage on Whitebeard, but he doesn't want to risk anything. Doesn't want to walk into that Crystal Maiden, who is around that area. And the rotation back is going to bring us a tri-lane top. With Derp soloing against a tri-lane bottom, this is going to be a pretty difficult lane if it stays as it is. That Venomous Gale is going to give him a long duration slow, which can definitely mess up Tide if he doesn't have that Kraken Chill to take it off. as well as the stun. A good block comes out from Earthshaker. He could be in trouble, but now Taborsin's going to look for an opening to put some damage on Derp. He's going to have to back up all the way to his tower, but Sicko in the jungle has that DD. He's been caught out a little bit. He hasn't popped Windrunner yet. There it is. Will he get away from this? There are no more disables available, so Rollo's just going to try and put auto attacks on him to try and punish him for coming forward a little bit too far, and now it's going to come into play where Windrunner does not have that salve to pop off. Instead, going to have to eat a lot of tangos to regain her health. On the middle lane, the Helix versus Tobacco. Tobacco, let's put on our last hit so we can actually see what's going on. It looks like right now it's pretty even. It is very early in the game, but early last hits and denies are a pretty good indicator of how things are going. Aggressive ward on the bottom lane is going to make life even more difficult for Derp. He cannot come forward very far at all. Taborsin's going to put some auto attacks on him. He puts a nice anchor smash back on Taborsin though, but now the rocket's coming out and he's going to pile on the damage as well. It looks like it's just going to be all for harassment purposes though, and Derp trying to sight him there, but the ward is still up. So he had vision of him. Meanwhile, let's keep an eye on this middle lane because I do think Invoker versus Leshrac should be well in favor of Invoker. However, that can change based on any interaction or involvement from other teammates pretty easily. Tobacco has opted to go for the Exort build, so he does have Sunstrike up level 1. We also see Sicko is going to be pulling these Ancients and stacking them. The top lane means it's going to be free farm for Smurf. We'll see if he can make the most out of that. We have seen some Morphlings struggle and in competition with a Tinker free farm. Tinker's going to hit his stride around 9 minutes when he picks up those Boots of Travels as well as that Soul Ring, and therefore be able to be very mobile around the map, pop off rockets that are going to deal a lot of damage. Derp gets blocked off here very effectively. He's going to have to turn around and run the other way, and they're not even going to try for his life. Instead, they're just going to let him go. He got a little bit of experience somewhere in the middle of all this chaos, but nothing too substantial to hang his hat on. Top lane, I wouldn't be surprised to see Whitebeard and Rollo try and rotate a little bit soon. They've got an advantage in levels on Smurf. He's level 3 now against the level 1 Windrunner. He can definitely hold his own out here. So here it is, the smoke from Whitebeard and Rollo. They're going to head towards the middle lane, try and create an opening on Leshrac, who is definitely susceptible to these ganks, but Leshrac is going down towards the bottom rune. He's going to pick up the regeneration and then head back to the middle. And it looks like they're going to actually try and tail him and catch him in the river. Invoker also has Cold Snap available now if he wants to invoke that up. Leshrac's going to take the safe path back. He's going to go on the high ground. And now a smoked up Whitebeard is going to run right into him. Will he get the telekinesis off? Yes, he will. Telekinesis tosses Helix into the air. Sunstrike to follow, but it's messed up by his own teammate. Helix is going to throw off a split earth. It's going to hit 2 targets. No, it's only going to hit 1. And now Helix is going to be in trouble. One more auto attack to finish him up, but they can't get in range of it. He's going to pop off his bottle charge, and he should live through that. And all because the telekinesis tossed him out of the Sunstrike. A miscue from Whitebeard. And a rare one at that. And now the Lightning Storm to put some harass damage back on them. And after all that, Helix bottles back up to near full health. So all for naught. But a good rotation nonetheless from the Dire supports. And that's what they're going to have to do. As Windrunner still trying to find an opening for some kind of farm across the map. Is going to pull a middle lane. And is looking pretty desperate right now. But not a bad option to pull that middle lane and help him out. Lashak will appreciate it. Tide, meanwhile, getting closer to level 2, but not quite there. We also see stacking going on in the jungle by Taborsin as well as Fantasy. So they'll have a couple camps doubled up on the bottom lane. Kphony. How's his farm looking? He has 1,000 golden bank, already has boots up, so 800 of that could be committed to his soul ring unless he wants to go directly for the boots of travel, which we have seen before. Wouldn't be too surprised, but having that soul ring is so important anyway that you really need to, once you get your boots of travel, you still need to, you know, farm up that soul ring. But it's not really, I mean, getting the boots of travel that quickly isn't really too advantageous because of the fact that you don't really get rearm until around level 8 or level 9. So I don't know if they'll actually even come into factor. So maybe he should just pick up his soul ring. That might be a better idea. Derp, however, picks up an invisibility. This is going to allow him to pick up level 2 pretty easily, but there are actually no creeps right now from the opposing team. So that is a little bit unfortunate. His timing is off. Not that he can control when the runes spawn or anything like that, but he just got a little unlucky there. Now he's going to overreach a little bit, try and get this level 2. It's going to run out though, and the last hit on this should get him level 2. There it is. Derp picks up level 2 5 minutes into the game. What an accomplishment. Rollo putting up a ward on the high ground by the Ancients. He's going to notice the stack. It is already stacked 1, 2, 3 times. So pretty big. He pings that for his teammate. Windrunner has picked up level 2 in the jungle as well. And we see Courier coming out. It's going to deliver smoke and sentries to Earthshaker. So perhaps thinking about trying to counter some wards or watch out for those smoke ganks from the opposition. Now Tobacco in the middle lane. He's level 5. Has gone 2-2 for Quas and Exhort. Helix is level 6. Has gone 3-3 for Split Earth and Lightning Storm. This is what we expect to see out of middle lane Leshrax, picking up levels in that Lightning Storm early on. But now the pressure is on as the top lane is being pushed in. The tier 1 tower dropping around 2/3 health. And will they be able to take this down? They have a glyph available, the Radiant do, if they want to try and stop this push. But nobody is rotating up. They're going to stack the Ancients again. This time the stack is actually missed. So a little bit of miscue there by Sicko. And this tower is going to go down. Do they want to pop the glyph to delay it a little bit or not? There's going to be a lot of gold to Smurf. And that's a big advantage. As although Tinker is getting free farm, he's not getting free farm plus a tower last hit. So a little bit of an edge to Morphling. But we can see they're both free farming very effectively. And this is one of the indicators of high level teams when you each have a free farm lane and both of them are on par and their farm looks very strong for the minute. We're at 6 minutes, so 45, looking pretty good. Derp meanwhile, still looking for another level. That's all he has to do on the bottom lane is try and pick up levels where he can without dying. Right now he's doing a good job of that. No deaths thus far. We're 7 minutes into the game and it's 0-0 for kills. So something's got to give sooner or later. Smurf and Rolo rotating towards the middle lane. They're going to look for an opening here. They're going to run into Windrunner in the jungle, though. Sicko does have Windrunner available, though, so it's going to be still tough to take her down. They are spotted up by the Catapult, I believe, which is a little bit unfortunate, but Smurf needs to be cautious. And now Leshrax doesn't know what to do in the middle lane. Waveform's going to come over. It's going to hit for a lot of damage. And now the Sunstrike got to be queued right. And Tobacco told Whitebeard not to mess that one up. And they get the kill on Leshrax. And the first blood comes out 7 minutes and 15 seconds into the game. It goes to Tobacco on that Invoker. And that gives him a lead over the middle lane. He is now 34 for 13 in CS versus Leshrax 27 for 5 and has that first blood gold. So this is going to be 2-1 lanes for them and 1 win for Suits at the moment, as Kfoni is definitely taking the decisive lead over bottom, and he does pick up that soul ring. So after I ran to Rave, he was just waiting a little while to pick it up. He also has 1,400 golden bank, so he's getting closer to those boots of travel. Sicko meanwhile has found some time to farm in the top lane, so going to try and recover as effectively as possible. Pick up some CS here and there, but now rotation from JT. They're going to come towards the bottom lane. The bottom lane may be in trouble. We do see a little bit of an overextension as Kfoni is up pretty far in the lane. He doesn't have a TP available either, so he could be in trouble. Smurf's going to come in with the waveform, and he decides not to use it, or he's rethinking it. These wards are level 1, so it's just going to be food for JT. They turn around and auto-attack it. As you can see, 17 gold off of 1 attack. Pretty good ratio. And now Tobacco does pick up his drums. He's going to keep pressure on this middle lane. He's not going to let Leshrax get any of this free farm that he wants. Double damage is up on Leshrax, so he has to be a little bit cautious. Lightning Storm going to come out and won't hit on Tobacco. So well played by him to back up a little bit and not let him get that free damage on him. Smurf back to the top lane, though. Going to resume his farm. He has 1,700 gold in the bank. Also has his treads up already, plus his Bassi. So looking pretty good. We'll see what he wants to go for. If he wants to go for that Ethereal Blade first, which we've been seeing pretty often, or if instead he wants to go for something unique along the lines of Yasha Manta first, or the typical Linken's first. And Linken's first, I'm not sure it would have too much value in this game. I mean, there are a lot of single target. There's the Shackle and the Laser. Laser is pretty strong against Morphling, but I think Ethereal Blade with the start he has, considering the start that the opposition has too, and the Ethereal Blade just melts Tinker, and Tinker is going to be the strong point. Like I said, he is the winning effort for Suits at the moment. So if he's able to get that Ethereal Blade and just take Tinker down, it really is going to mean a lot for his team. And now we see Illusion Rune on the bottom is going to be picked up by Derp. He has 1,000 golden bank as well, so we'll see if he's going to go for Arcane Boots or something along those lines with his money. But 4 heroes around this middle area grouped up for Suits. And Sicko just looking for any farm she can in the jungle once again. Going to be picking off some of those easy creeps. Fantasy only level 3 on that Shaker. He's not even close to level 4. We see level 4 on Venomancer. So let's check out our experience and hero levels. We'll go for hero levels first. Invoker leading the way at level 8. We have Leshrax and Tinker at level 7. And then 7 and 5 on our Rubik as well as Morphling. And it looks like Crystal Maiden. All the supports seem to be down and about that area. Well below the average at 3 and 4. So I guess that evens it out. Both teams are suffering that much. We are at the 10-minute mark. This is the Fnatic Raidcall Dota 2 Cup number 5. I'm NYJohn, your shoutcasting host, and I hope you're enjoying the presentation thus far. This is JT, Josh Tabak Dota versus suits, and we have an engagement, and Leshak may be in trouble here if they can get one more skill up. Is anything off cooldown? It looks like Cold Snap is still on cooldown for a couple more seconds, so Helix once again going to be able to escape just narrowly. He has dropped once in this game, but 2 narrow escapes. Could very well have 3 deaths at this point if it wasn't for a little bit of luck and misplace. I'm not sure which one that falls under, but now we see a counter war coming out here. They're going to be able to take down the sentry from the Dire team. Kphony as well as Tiborson join the effort in the middle lane. Those boots of travels are up, so it took till around the 11-minute marks. A little bit slower than usual. 9 minutes for free farm is what we usually see, but it's not going to make all too much of a difference in theory. Tobacco, Whitebeard, Rolo all over in this area thinking about smoking up.
Demised.
They're not going to. Meanwhile, Smurf is still free farming top lane. 3,000 gold in the bank. We could see an 18-minute ethereal if he keeps on this pace, even earlier maybe. And this is going to mean a lot, as Ethereal Blade, of course, provides so much damage. The earlier you get it, the exponentially better it is, because your opposition is so low leveled. We could see level 3 on the Shaker, level 4 on the Venomancer. If he picks this up by the time they're around level 6 or 7, they're going to stand no chance. Their strength pool isn't even big enough to withstand the blows. Even if he has a moderate amount of strength left and doesn't morph everything into agility, they're going to be in a world of hurt. Now on the bottom lane we see Kphony coming in. He's just going to continue to farm around the map. Does have a Staff of Wizardry up as well, so working towards his 4-staff as soon as possible. Pretty typical Tinker build, nothing out of the ordinary quite yet. Whitebeard heading back to the base with a ward and that smoke. Smurf continuing his farm. Rolo has a sentry, puts one up in the middle lane just in case any funny business is about to come out. Sicko, Tiborian, and Fantasy are all here trying to desperately mooch off some of the experience from the lane, but it looks like they're going to let it go to Windrunner. And Windrunner is so far behind on levels. And I guess one of the reasons why you take a Windrunner is because she can steal some of those levels from the lane and steal some of the CS, so they may have been a little bit, they may have came a little bit short in that department, whereas it's much more difficult for Derp on that tide to get levels than it is for Windrunner. However, they seem to be pretty even in the end. In fact, Derp pulls ahead at level 6, so that's got to be a minor victory for them. Windrunner definitely a little bit more versatile, has that actual escape mechanism. And now trouble for Helix. Yet again, he's going to get out with a haste rune. And Helix living life on the edge thus far. Whitebeard and Smurf are up here, and they still can't take him down. He has 1 death, but that was from a 3-man gank, executed very well. He has 3 narrow escapes now. So Helix doing a good job of dancing with the devil, but sooner or later he's going to get burned. Tobacco on the middle lane, going to try and stop this push, but we see March Machines have already been spammed off. And it's going to be difficult. TP in, though. And now the cold snap on top of Taborian. He's going to be in trouble. Kphony comes in, though. And now Tobacco. They're going to try and turn this around on him. One more auto attack and take him down. But instead, Dirt's going to come in. He's going to pop off the Gush. No Ravage. Decides against using it. Doesn't have much help. Invoker goes down on the sideline. Tinker may have got the rockets off on him. And, wow. Nice pickoff for them. And they turned it around very effectively. I wasn't even sure who that TP was, but it was Tinker. It looked like it could have been from the Dire team. And now a TP back in for Tinker. They're going to put aggression onto this tier 1 tower in the middle lane. Dirt pops off the Ravage. It only catches Sicko in it, though. A little bit of a missed Ravage yet again. They're able to melt down Windrunner pretty easily. And Whitebeard and Dirt have to back up. The Rockets coming in. Will it kill him? Yes, it will. Another kill as they take down Dirt on the Tidehunter. With the Rocket spam. Marching Machine plus Rocket dealing too much damage for him to withstand. Now Smurf going to head back to the base. Does have his Eagle Song in his bank. He will be able to pick up that Ghost Scepter in about 700 gold. And Tobacco is going to just try and clear the creeps here and get the deny, but Fantasy is sizing him up. In fact, Tiborian and Fantasy are thinking about bringing in some help instead. Tobacco is going to get the deny freely, and he'll be happy with that. That's the 2nd tower to go down for the Dire team, but they get 1 deny. Meanwhile, 2 towers down in favor of them as well, and both of them killed outright, so positive trade in that regard. And while we have a moment, we'll check out the gold graph. Over 1,000 gold in favor of the Dire, but it's coming back. Over 1,500 experience in favor of the Dire. A very close game. Suits are definitely still in this. And Tinker is going to make sure that they stay in this for a long time as he continues his farm. We can see, has he picked up his 4-staff? Yes, he has. And during team fights, he's just dealing so much damage. Those Rockets easily able to pick off Tobacco as well as Derp while they're on the retreat. So, well played by him. and it's going to be something they have to deal with. They're going to need a pipe up. There's a lot of magic damage, as I said before the game, that they have to cope with. Once this Shaker gets a Blink Dagger as well, I mean, he needs to get level 6 before he can get a Blink Dagger, but once he gets things going, there's going to be the Echo Slam on top of all the damage coming out from Venomancer's ultimate, the rockets, Leshrak's 3 skills are all magical, and the power shot, so it's going to be a little bit problematic in big teamfight scenarios when they get there. However, now they're going to put the pressure on the tier 1 tower in the top lane. We see a rotation in from a lot of members from the Dire squad. Sicko's going to have to TP out, Helix is going to have to TP out, and they force 3 TPs out. Not a bad result, and they won't catch anyone though, as they did spend some time rotating 5 heroes up here. Illusions are scouting out the jungle from Derp. Now Tobacco still hasn't opted for that early level Wex just to be a little bit more safe. Instead goes for the typical build, the 4 in Exort and the 4 in Quas that gives you 2 of the Forged Spirits, and that is so strong. The Forged Spirits are probably the most annoying summons in the game. They deal so much damage, and they're very tanky as well. And now Tobacco has 1,700 gold in the bank. We'll see if he wants to go for a 4-staff or something else. Sicko, meanwhile, going ahead and pick up this double damage rune. She opted for Tranquil Boots after having a poor start, so not a bad idea. It allows her to jungle a little bit more effectively if that's what she was intending for a while. Meanwhile, Helix, his farm is not all too great. He has 1,400 gold in the bank, has Arcane Boots as well as a Bracer, but he's looking for something else. If he wants to go towards that stone or that Aghanims or even the sheep, he is still a ways off from it. So let's check out the gold per minute. Net worth sounds so degrading. Gold per minute, we see Tinker is at 460. We have Morphling at 413 and Invoker at 341, and then the drop off to Leshrak, who is 270. So obvious repercussions from all those near-death encounters plus the 1 death. He is behind in farm. We have 2 heroes that are very scary in the middle for them, but Tinker still leading the way by far, and that's going to be a definite positive aspect for this Radiant team. But now we see a Smoke Gang, Tobacco and Whitebeard are going to come in here. Will they run into Helix? No, it looks like Helix and Fantasy are going to be safe in there. Instead, they're going to run into Taborsin. Toss him up the air, telekinesis. He's going to take a lot of damage here. One more hit will take him out. Down he goes, and Taborsin drops in the jungle. Apostle at the ultimate right before he drops, though, to try and whittle them down. And now Rocket Spam is going to come out. Whitebeard is going to take a little bit of damage to rearm to try and finish him off. Is he in range? Will the Rocket see him? No, it looks like it won't, but Rolo may be in trouble as well. He's really low on health. The Rockets come out. Tobacco gets hit by 1, and Rolo and Whitebeard seem to be A-okay. Whitebeard needs to hide in the jungle now and deliver a TP out to himself. He is, very close spot. I didn't know the creeps didn't have an angle there. That was very close to being spotted off. And he pops off a ward out there as well. So he's going to try and juke his way out. We'll follow Whitebeard on his epic journey back home. And here it goes. He's going to try and run through the middle lane. His team has come in to try and help him out, and it got less epic, unfortunately. And this Whitebeard's adventure is made a lot more safe. Now Derp with invisibility is standing right next to Fantasy. He has a Ravage available. Could try and blow them up. Here it goes. Will he pop it off? Helix is here. They're all grouped up together, but he does not have enough support. Tobacco does not want to come in. So they decide against it. And not trying to be heroes quite yet. And Invoker is bald now. So I'm not sure what happens, but he has lost his hair. This has been happening a lot lately, ever since the last couple of patches. Heroes are losing all their items and losing heads and stuff along those lines. But let's see, the top lane Smurf going to take a replicate of Tide. Is the Ethereal Blade finished? Yes, it is. So Smurf getting him around that 18, 19 minute mark. It's what we expected out of him. And now he's going to be able to wreak havoc. He has level 2 in Adaptive Strike, so level 4 is going to be pretty important, but he still has plenty of time to farm that up. The level advantage is still there. As we look to the hero levels, we see level 6 on Shaker as well as Venomancer. They're going to be 2 very easy targets. Level 8 on Windrunner, she's still pretty easy. And then Leshrak has a little bit of health up, but now it looks like Kfoni's going to have to push himself backwards. He may be in trouble as Rolo comes in to push the Frostbite on top of him. Tobacco gets blocked off by a good stun. Gush comes out on top of Kfoni. Will be able to catch him. The Shackle's going to hold Derp in place, and Whitebeard taking damage from the tower. He's going to drop pretty low. One more auto attack will take him down, but it looks like he's going to narrowly live. And now the Rocket Spam comes out, plus the Lightning Storm, and takes out Crystal Maiden. Derp may be in trouble. He's on the retreat. Can he get out of here? Taborsin looking for a really nice slow, but it is just out of range. And now Derp going to get lucky and find that haste room, but no, still gets stuck. He gets hit by that Split Earth, and he's going to get narrowly away. Well played, popping off that magic wand, keeps him alive. And Smurf still sitting on the bottom lane, looking for someone to shotgun. He's 2-1-1 in the game thus far. We can check out our kill leaders. Kphony's leading the way 3-0-1 on his Tinker. He's leading the way on a lot of different aspects. Gold per minute, he's still in the lead as well. But it looks like the items are starting to come up on JT. And will they be able to make something happen? It's going to be very important. You can't let this Tinker get too out of hand. His farm is really good. And now we see a 4-step forward on the Forward Spear. Going to try and put more damage on Sicko. Sicko minus 1 armor. So the others were misses because of the win run. And now Shaker is going to come back in as well. And there may be a brawl in this bottom lane. Looks like Tobacco. They're going to go ahead, jump on top of Sicko under the tower. Kphony's going to spam off the rocket. It does so much damage. Shotgun combo's going to take out Earthshaker on the back end of the play. Rocket spam persists. Derp thinking about coming in under the tower. There is no more TPs. We have a walk-in from Taborson. He's going to try and make his way over here. But it looks like JT are content with the 1 kill and are going to rotate out now. Whitebeard as well as Tobacco heading out of here. They will do so safely. Helix now picking up an Ogre Axe. Has 1,500 gold in the bank, so his farm's starting to pick up a little bit. Doing a little bit better, we can see. He's gone up about 15 gold per minute. Has been afforded some time to free farm by this Tinker, holding off the aggression from Josh Tabak Dota. And JT, the question is, with that dire advantage, when are they going to try and take advantage of the Roche Pit? We're at 22 minutes. They don't have all too much in the ways of taking him down quickly, but still, with Tinker rotating around the map and being a little bit neither here nor there, they could try and get an opening. Maybe on the back of one more pickoff, they can try and pick up a Roche, which is going to be one way to try and effectively combat that Tinker under his own tower when he's putting up all those rocket spam as well as the Marching Machines to have that Aegis up and available and just try and ramble on top of him. If you can Morphling shotgun combo him, that should do the job. Derp comes in top as well as Tobacco, and the damage they're taking from Marching Machine is so high. Tobacco dropping from almost full health to below half. Derp going down to 3/4 health on a Tidehunter. Looks like Derp's going to work towards that eventual pipe, but he's not really close to it at the moment. Morphling, we'll see if he's going to go for that teamfight build. He should. If he goes for that BKB, that's probably the best option for him right now. Now Smurf may be in trouble on the bottom lane, though. Kphony's here as well as Sicko. He's going to morph strength, but the power shot takes him out, and he TP's in a little bit too aggressively. I didn't see the initial thing. Maybe it was a bait or something, but the shackle from Sicko as well as the damage from Kphony was just too much for him to stomach. And now they're going to go on the tier 2 tower down here. It's going to drop pretty quickly. And a pause comes out from Earthshaker. So thanks everyone who's joined me today. I'm NYJohn from GoForDota.com. This is the Fnatic Raidcall Play Dota Cup number 5. We're in the semifinals. Josh Tabak Dota versus Suits. And Suits look like they're leading the way with Tinker play. It's going to be difficult to combat. He's ahead in levels. He's ahead in farm. But Josh Tabak Dota aren't too far off. Morphling starting to get up some items, but that death pretty crucial. They didn't want to lose him there. He's only killed one person with his shotgun. He's had it for about 3-4 minutes now. One person that I noticed. And now Ping's on the top lane. It looks like Derp and Whitebeard may get themselves into trouble. There haven't been too many Ravages this game either. Tidehunter used one in the middle lane, only hit on one hero. And I'm not sure if he used it too many other times, so interesting play. And hopefully this pause won't last very long, but instead of stretching for content and boring you all to death, I'm just going to be a little bit quiet. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned. The game's going to resume eventually, I hope. Oh, and here it is. So, fair enough. And we're back into it. Taborson and Whitebeard, the go call. Rocket spam on Whitebeard. He's going to try and retreat out of here. Derp is here as well. And Taborson, Helix, putting the pressure on. How much gold does Tinker have? That is going to be the question right now. He does have his ultimate orb plus 3,300 gold, so he's getting really close to picking up that sheep. And now a smoke gang comes out. Tobacco as well as Roller are going to try to rotate top and pick somebody off here. And Fantasy and Sicko are backing off of the bottom lane. We also see a TP out from our Tinker player. It looks like he spammed his March Machines on the middle lane. And now they'll go gank in. Helix is going to be in trouble. He takes out the cold snap. A lot of damage. Derp pops off that ultimate. Taborson going to be tossed up in the air with the telekinesis, and he's going to drop as well. And they're going to try and continue on, maybe get a tower here, but it's still going to be very difficult going into the March of Machines. I think Roche may be a better option, but the stun comes out from Earthshaker plus the power shot. Tobacco taking a good amount of damage. The Shackle will not catch on to him. A good effort from Sicko, though. And now we're going to have to see JT probably retreat as the rocket spam is coming out. as well as power shots, and just a lot of long-range damage that's going to keep them off of any real aggression on the towers. Tinker's going to come to the bottom lane now and try and slow down Smurf from pushing onto this tower. You see Rocket's going to hit for another 250. Okay, Phony, how much health does he have? He's over 1,200. So looking pretty strong in that department. I don't think the shotgun can one-shot him.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Haste.
And they're going to have to find a way to pick up one of these fights and then get a Roche in the back end of it. And I'm not even sure Roche is going to be all too instrumental, but it definitely gives them an opportunity to try and kill off the Tinker. Tinker saving for that. Oh, he has it finished. Now he has the side device up. So it's going to change things even more in fights. They can try and team fight now, I think. If they want to, they can try and engage on them. Where does everyone else stand? We see Windrunner with a Staff of Wizardry. Already has that mech up. Taborson, nothing. He's going full support duties. We have Helix picking up his Mithril Hammer, so he's only 150 gold away from finishing off a BKB. And Shaker, 700 gold in the bank, still a ways away from picking up a Blink Dagger. Now Kphony going to TP out of here, the bottom lane. There are 3 heroes in the area. Fantasy may be in trouble. Smurf was already popped off. No, he hasn't popped off his shotgun. He's going to make a replicate. Now shotgun on top of him. He pushes him. The telekinesis puts him up in the air. He pops off the Echo Slam, but the Echo Slam does nearly nothing. Only on 1 target, and Smurf going to TP out of here promptly. And a full retreat after the pickoff. Rolo still within the smoke. So well played there by JT, getting the pickoffs they need. That will further slow down that Blink Dagger coming out from Earthshaker, which is going to be frustrating for him. 26 minutes into the game, can't get a Blink Dagger yet. Tobacco thinking about turning around here, but has to be careful. Rocket Sven's going to come out. Will it hit on him? Yes. It's going to put him down pretty low, around 150 health. So should definitely be cautious. Whitebeard comes in though, he's going to get shackled up. The power shot, if there's a rocket to come out, Rolo's already down, and the Whitebeard getting pretty low. He's going to drop as well, and they end up surrendering a free double kill to Sicko for no reason. And a big misplay by JT, but Morphling able to come in and take out Tinker on the back end of it. And now Smurf trying to clean up for his team. Instead, he's going to back off though, doesn't want to be aggressive on top of Sicko. But that kill on Tinker, pretty strong. They still need to force him to buy back though. He doesn't have enough gold to buy back at the moment. Oh, he does. So, Tinker, of course, always a threat to buy back. Ravage going to come out on top of Helix. Rotation in. He does have his BKB finished off. Can they kill him before? Yes, he goes down. Invoker with the final hit. And that's a big kill. That first BKB charge is so strong. 10 seconds. And you can never get it back unless you repurchase a BKB. So they get that as well as a kill on top of Helix. And further slow down his farm with only a BKB at 26 minutes. He is not looking too strong in terms of farm. Now Smurf, what's he going to be looking for next? It looks like he is going to go for that BKB. So the wise decision from him. Sicko on the bottom lane to try and contest his farm. He's going to have to TP out of there. Fantasy has 1,000 gold in the bank now. Kphony comes up to the top lane. He's going to push us a little bit. He has 1,400 gold as well. Now Derp picks up his Ring of Health, so he can finish off his hood now and then work towards that pipe. There it is. Tobacco on the middle lane. 1,300 gold in the bank. If he wants to work towards Aghanims, we'll see. No, he's going to work towards that sheep, so decides sheep is going to be necessary for him to pick up, and it definitely makes a lot of sense. So he has 1,300 gold in the bank. He's about 2,000 gold away from finishing that off. And now Sicko going to come in from the side. Will he catch him off? Tobacco may put Sicko in a bad position. He's going to come forward. No, he's not going to even go for him. He does pick up a level 1 Wex. And now we have Sunstrike's going to hit for 412 if it's on target. 3-1-3 on Invoker. Pretty well played by him thus far. Kill lead is still 10-7 in favor of JT. 4-2 on Morphling. Sheep comes out though on Tobacco. He's going to be chained sheep to a good shackle as well. Tobacco's in a lot of trouble. The laser, the second sheep. He's going to go down here. And oh, he just narrowly surviving. No, he cannot get away. And Tobacco drops to the combination from Sicko as well as Kphony. The double sheep plus the shackle. Too much for him to withstand and taken advantage of there. Crystal Maiden trying to come in for support but could not do so quickly enough. Meanwhile, on the top lane, we have JT putting some pressure on this lane. Smurf is at 1,700 gold, so can pick up that Mithril. Is still 1,200 gold away from finishing off the BKB, which is going to be what they're looking for before they try and go for any grand engagements. Rolo into trouble in the jungle, though. The power shot, one more hit will take him down, and the lightning storm finishes him off. Helix with a kill on top of Rolo. 1,200 gold in the bank for him. Now a TP to the bottom lane. It's going to bring in Tinker. Kfoni pops off the rockets as well as the sheep right away. Tidehunter thinking about turning around and coming back into this. Smurf has a replicate available. Helix pops off his second BKB charge. Whitebeard going to try and get out of here. He's going to be spotted off and disrupted. The split earth to take him out. Whitebeard is going to drop, but everyone else going to get away. Smurf going to head back to the base as well as Dirt going to get out successfully. So not too bad. You don't want to give up kills, but losing a support Rubik is probably one of the better case scenarios coming out from that initial encounter. Now Sicko, Helix, and Taborson all in the top lane looking for some trouble. They're going to run into Derp. No, Derp is going to full retreat. On the bottom, though, we see Kfoni is going to come up. He's trying to set up a gank on top of Smurf. Smurf does not have a replicate available. The sheep, the spam, the laser, the rockets. One more hit, the Sunstrike comes out, and it's going to hit on Kfoni, but down goes Smurf again. Kfoni taking full advantage of that rearm and dominating Smurf right there. Morphling goes down. And a reminder, this is the semifinals, and semifinals, as far as I know, are still best of one. Only the finals are best of three from what I heard yesterday, unless things have changed. So, JT could be in big trouble now. Tinker looking really strong and possibly too strong. Last encounter able to one-on-one. The last hope for JT being that Morphling. Morphling desperately needs that BKB. He is about 1,200 gold away still after that last death. I'm NYJohn. Thank you for joining me. This is Fnatic Raidcall Cup number 5. Presented to you by Fnatic in conjunction with Raidcall. And I believe the other semifinal involves Fnatic RC. I don't know who they're playing, though. The brackets are available at the Fnatic's website, so you can check those out. This is a semifinal matchup. Sheep's going to come out on top of a creep. A misclick. Now Derp's going to get stunned off, and he's going to get sheeped yet again. The rocket spam is going to deal a ton of damage. Tabak has to be careful inside the Martian Machines. He's going to force step himself out of there. And now Taborson going to stand his ground. Helix has a DD damage, DD rune up on him. Excuse me. And Rolo, Whitebeard all in the area. Do they want to try and make an engagement out of this? And stun comes out. Rolo's going to be in trouble. A couple more hits. Rocket's going to hit him. He goes down. Whitebeard's going to take a lot of damage as well. Helix popping off a lot of mana on an illusion. A little bit of a misplay by him. But the rest of the Radiant team looking very strong. They're going to look to try and take down this tier 2 tower in the middle lane. It is down to around a third health. Helix is going to take some hits from it, but nothing too substantial. And the Radiant team looking all so powerful right now. 5 for 1 on the back of that Tinker. He's been a part of 11 out of 12 kills. So really impressive play by Kfoni. And here it goes. The tower's going to drop. 513 gold, 2 Leshrac. Are they going to back off? Or are they going to continue on? That's all the outer base towers claimed by the Radiant team. They're still 4 up for themselves. They're going to look to the Roche bin now. Taborson's already in there. And I guess one of the other unique aspects of picking a Tinker with this lineup, going all the way back to the picking phase, is you don't have that reliable minion to TP to, which is something we usually see as a must-have when you're featuring a Tinker in your roster. So Tinker making it do, not needing that bear or the Treants or anything along those lines, even the Broodlings. So impressive still. Rolo gonna smoke gank up, and of course the trademark of North American Dota, when all is going wrong, the smoke gank to try and turn it around. And JT did it yesterday. They had one big team fight that turned into a Rax, and they're gonna go for the Roche here. A very brave attempt, and they get in successfully. Nobody from the Radiant team is flinching. I don't believe they know. So the smoke is going to be successful, and they're going to get this. As the TP to the top line by Kfoni means that Rax is going to be going to the Dire here. They're going to get the boost of gold, plus the Aegis. They'll probably put the Aegis on top of Smurf. And now Smurf can try and go all out to take out that Tinker. He does finish off his BKB too, so it's going to be on the way out. And now they're going to be able to try and team fight Derp with that Ravage. Smurf going to go in. Should not use the BKB on his first life, I don't think. And we'll see how this plays out. Now we see a lot of people grouping going towards the middle lane. Radiant have to be a little bit frustrated. They have a lot of map control, and they still gave up that Roche. Here comes a stun out from Shaker just to try and kill the creep wave down, plus the lightning storm. It will do so pretty easily. Illusions on the top lane. But it looks like Tinker isn't here. Tinker's going to go down to the bottom lane and stop that from pushing. And it's just a bunch of heroes standing around in the middle lane. They don't really have intentions of pushing, so JT going to have to decide if they want to try and bring the fight to them. They don't have any vision of them right now. The Radiant have a ward in the Dire jungle, and they also have a ward on top of the Dire players, so it'll be pretty difficult for them to engage in a favorable circumstance when they have eyes on them. Now Morphling moving towards the bottom lane, may think about going here. Oh, but the blink out from Tinker as he picks up a blink dagger as well. And another Mystic Staff, so going to be going towards that Shiva's. He's 1,200 gold. He's pretty close to picking it up. The Shackle's going to come out. Tabak's going to be in trouble. Dirt comes in to try and cover for him. K-Phony, though, going to blink in. He sheeps up Dirt. The rockets come out. The combo on top of K-Phony. It's not enough to take him down. BKB is popped. The Deafening Wave comes out. And they're going to try and kill off Helix first. Helix is going to drop. The stun doesn't do anything. It doesn't hit on anyone. And now Sicko's going to try and retreat out. There's only one kill as far as Leshrac. Wait from over from Smurf. He tries to finish off K-Phony again, but K-Phony still narrowly surviving, and he's going to try and get out of here. He pops off the rearm, but now has no mana available. No, he goes ahead and uses his Soul Ring and gets out of there. A one-kill engagement. After all of that, one kill in favor of the Dire, and they'll be okay with that. They don't lose the Aegis, so that's another positive aspect. Smurf wisely strength morphing in the river there, and we'll see. Things are going to slowly change. I mean, picking off the Leshrac, like I said, his farm is really poor. He does have that BKB, but we're at 34 minutes. He was a solo Leshrac. He has 2,500 gold in Meg, but only having a BKB on Arcane Boots, he is definitely behind, so you are definitely feeding on one of their weaknesses. And if you could kill down this Tinker, the team fight could very well go in the favor of Josh Tabak Dota. Suits need to protect the Tinker at all costs, and you saw he almost dropped in that last fight. Getting very close. Fantasy does have his blink dagger up now. He's going to blink in. Tabak may be in trouble. K-Phony's going to sheep him up. Tabak trying to retreat out of here. Dirt's going to come in for cover. Ravage is available, but Tabak's already dead, and the Ravage misses as K-Phony pushes himself out of there and then blinks on the back end of it. Now Tidehunter bringing in... Oh, this is actually a replicate illusion, and it's going to try and look for some pick off here. It's going to keep looking if it finds Taborson. Oh, but it will not reveal the smoked up units. So no chance for a kill there. A one-man pickoff again, this time in favor of the Radiant. Both teams are going to slow play this one. JT going to stay around their base. Don't want to get caught out too far out of base because Tinker is so mobile. Has a blink dagger and that Force Staff. On the top lane though, Rolo is going to get picked off again, trying to come in and do some warding duty, it looked like. He's going to get caught. The ward is on the high rock for the Radiant team, so they have full vision of him. Taking full advantage of that blink on Fantasy to go in and catch him off. And now K-Phony on the middle lane. He's going to try and retreat out here, but Smurf's going to run into him. He pops off the shotgun. The waveform is going to miss, though, and now he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. He replicates to him, a little bit unnecessary of a replicate, and gets sheeped off. Trying to close some ground, but now they're going to turn it around. Smurf's going to be in trouble as everybody comes in. K-Phony's going to get pushed up by a telekinesis. There's no Ravage available because it missed in the last fight. And now Helix in the middle of the battle doing so much damage. The Pulse Nova is going to take down Derp. Windrunner getting a double kill. Takes out Tidehunter Rubik. Morphling takes out Tinker on the back end of it, but it ends up going in favor of the Radiant team. Sicko's going to get frostbitten up here. Tabak's going to try and pile damage. Smurf comes in. He's going to get hit by the mech, though, and they're going to heal up for a little bit. Sicko trying to retreat. Fantasy has a stun available if he wants to try and pop it up, but doesn't want to block his teammates. And Sicko drops, but now the stun comes in. Oh, jumping in the middle of the fight, but all for naught. The Echo Slam does nothing, and down goes Earthshaker, as well as Leshrac, and a nice turnaround from JT as they turn the fight well in their favor. Did they get buybacks in the middle of the fight? I couldn't even tell. I don't know how to scroll through action chat, so I won't look, but I think JT must have bought back with one or two heroes. In fact, I could check this way. It doesn't look like anyone's on cooldown, so no buyback. So that really impressive victory there from JT then. That fight started off very against their favor, and they were able to turn it around effectively. So props them. And JT not dying. They haven't let any of the tier 3s even be touched. There's a little bit of damage on the top one, but... Oh, and the bottom one has taken a good amount of damage too, so I'm a little bit wrong in that, but they have been keeping these fights away from the towers for the most part, which is probably a wise idea. You don't want to lose a tier 3 tower as a byproduct of a bad fight. And now K-Phony going to go into the bottom lane. He does have his Shivas up, so farm just continues to amass on him. You can check out his net worth, I guess. Not that that's going to mean much to anyone. 18,000 gold. Gold per minute is going to be 526. We're going to see 425 on Morphling. And Morphling, what's he going to go for next? He has 1,400 gold in the bank. He does pick up an ultimate orb, so perhaps his next choice will be the Scotty. Derp has Ravage up again now. Pipe is also available. Whitebeard going towards a late mech. He has a buckler up. See Helix. He picks up an ultimate orb. He has 1,800 gold in bank. Probably going for his own sheep. Earthshaker has that blink. Venomancer has a hood. Also 2 separate TPs. So he stole a TP from somebody. Oh, from Smurf. Interesting play to Borson. Tobacco has his sheep up as well. I believe we saw that in the last fight. And it's going to slow down as everyone's going to disengage a little bit. Back off. Smoke Ink attempts. Sicko as well as Taborson are going to look for an opening here. Do they have vision on anybody? No. Do they know Tobacco's down here? This could be a big team fight. Derp has an ultimate up. But there are 5 heroes from the Radiant and only 4 from the Dire. But in comes Morphling. He's going to go on top of Tinker and they take him down right off the bat. And this could be well in favor of them. Derp does not even pop off the Ravage yet. Helix trying to retreat out of here. Smurf going to follow on him. He has a waveform available in a moment. Here it is. Waveform over. Helix going to get in trouble, and there he goes. Down he goes to the Adaptive Strike. Now Sicko trying to retreat as well. A double kill for Morphling. They don't drop a single hero. And a big fight. They take off Tinker so quickly. And that's what I've been saying they need to do. And they're able to do so successfully. I believe it was Invoker plus Smurf were able to get behind enemy lines and kill him off. And now the tower's going to go down. They're finally going to be able to claim this tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. But Fantasy comes in the middle of the fight. And Echo Slam takes down Invoker. Waveform over is going to take out Fantasy. And now Sicko's going to retreat into the jungle. Dirt's going to take a good amount of damage to Power Shot. Not going to face him though as he pops off his pipe. Taborson going to go ahead and put the slow on top of Dirt. Dirt trying to get out of here. Puts the gush on Taborson. Pops off the Anchor Smash. He's going to try and man up the Frostbite. And now Taborson's going to drop. Dirt, will he live through this? So manly, but he does not quite survive. He drops in the end. Smurf going to TV back to base on low health. So a 5-for-2 exchange. And just as I counted JT out of it, they have reasserted themselves in a big way. And now 3,200 gold on the back of this Morphling. And he is looking mighty strong. Going to be close to finishing off his Scotty. About 800 gold away from that or so, I think. I could be totally wrong. Let's check out the graphs while we have a moment. And we see the graph is going to start sliding backwards. It was around 12,000, now it's around 10,000. And the experience graph is going to be in favor of the Dire, so a positive for them. And now Kphony is going to pop off that Shiva's. Head back to the base. Helix, I don't want to rag on him too much. Still looking for that sheep sooner or later. And Tobacco has 1,200 gold in the bank. He'll probably be going for Aghanims next. Unless he wants to go for a damage on him. We haven't seen that once or twice where the Invoker decides he just needs physical damage. Derp. No one else really farming. And here it goes. Tinker thinking about TPing into the top lane. Reconsiders. Goes to the bottom lane instead. Probably a good decision. There were a lot of heroes up here. Smurf could have tried to take him out again. Would have been devastating if he was able to do so. And now Morphling. It's the second ultimate orb is 2,100. So 1,800. So he can probably finish off that Midas Scotty. And we'll see if he's going to bring the courier out to him with it momentarily. He does have the replicate up. It is tailing his team. And now Roche is about to respawn. So they have a Forged Spirit. Got a net out. Did they ever use the Aegis? No, they did. Oh, but Smurf's in trouble now. Kphony jumps on top of him and takes him out. Wow. Kphony going hard. Takes out Smurf one-on-one without letting him to pop off that BKB. And now he's down for 80 seconds. Could buy back, but doesn't want to have to. And look at this. They're looking for an opening. A Smoke Gang's going to bring in the rest of the Suit squad. They're going to go on top. Kphony leading the way. He blinks forward. Sheeps up Whitebeard. The Rocket Spam comes out. A stun from Earthshaker. The Gale misses. Tobacco trying to turn it around. The Deafening Blast. Sicko's going to be tossed up the air with Telekinesis. The Meteor comes down. They pop off the pipe as well as the mech. And now Sicko's going to drop. Buyback from to Smurf. He's going to go on top of Fantasy. Fantasy one more hit and he's dead. It's going to be 2 kills for them. And JT, once again, not relenting, but that was an expensive buyback. Around 1,500 gold, so Morphling going to have to recover a little bit. Picks up some of that gold back in the middle of that fight. And now they're going to go for the Roche. A wise decision, though. The buyback opens up an opportunity to try and kill off this Roche. So, well played by JT again. And Suits struggling a little bit. They haven't been able to get a Rax, and you know the common saying is, if you don't get a Rax, it doesn't count. And they've been dominating this game for the majority of the time. Tinker, since that 11-minute mark, had those Boots of Travels up as well as the Soul Ring. But really, it has just amounted into a farm Tinker. The rest of his team hasn't caught up in any way, shape, or form. 335 gold per minute on Windrunner. That's nothing too special. And 327, I've been already hammering on this Leshrac. That's nothing much either. And the fact is that Morphling is going to be the strongest carry in this game. And the later we go, the less in favor it's going to be of the Radiant squad. So Suits have to look to do something a little bit desperate, perhaps, to try and close this one out if they want to try and win this. Josh Tabak Dota have just been standing strong and staying in it. I'm not sure they've been as crisp today as they were yesterday, but still nonetheless, they've been persevering. And here we go. The Scotty is going to be completed by Smurf. It's being delivered to him right now. I'll give him a lot more strength to play around with. I want to thank everyone that's tuning in. I'm NYJohn. This is the Fnatic Raidcall Play Dota 2 Cup number 5. Thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. I got my overlays right today, so I'm so proud of myself. It's probably the most difficult thing about shoutcasting. And we're watching Josh Tabak Dota versus Suits. Suits in control for, I'd say, until 5 minutes ago. So 40 minutes of this match, Suits were looking pretty dominant with the farm on Tinker, but now it's starting to teeter off and Morphling looking more substantial. Most recently, Tinker did take out Morphling, but Morphling now has completed up a Scotty, and he's going to go on top of Helix. Helix is going to have to pop off that BKB and head back to base. So now it's maybe an opportunity for them to try and pick off another gank. The ward may spot off Sicko here. It will. Sicko's going to be in trouble. The nice Fisher going to come out from Rubik, and now Sicko going to take a lot of damage. Will he go down? The Fisher comes out from Shaker as well, so double Fishers. Sicko pops off that mech, tries to full retreat out, and now Smurf going to wait for him over, and they're both going to escape with their lives. So 3 kills missed there by Josh Tabak Dota. They almost took out Leshrak, they almost took out Sicko, and they almost were able to take out Earthshaker. So a little bit of missed opportunities, but still they force everybody back. They can put down more wards in the jungle. Helix does finish off his sheep 45 minutes into the game. Taborson, 800 gold from picking up his own pipe. And now Tobacco has 3,000 gold in the bank. He's 1,200 or 1,100 away from finishing off his Aghanims if that's what he wants. Tinker pushing the top lane by himself. He's going to keep the waves in their favor. It'll make it a lot more difficult for Jay to extend as far as they have been doing. And we see Rolo still doing that full support duty. Nothing up on him. And it's a shame. Smurf thinking about going on top of K-Phony here. K-Phony going to blink very far in though. And Smurf not going to be able to find him with the waveform. So he will retreat out of there to his replicate. Meanwhile, a lot of creeps chasing perhaps a Forge Spirit in the river. Not sure what they were doing. And we see Fantasy. He hasn't been able to pick anything up since his Blink Dagger. Sicko has his sheep up as well now too, so wow. And the items are definitely coming through on the Radiant side. And now here it goes. Engagement on top of K-Phony on the top lane. They're going to pop off the Ravage to try and take him out. And he's going to drop. We see a lot of Radiant team members coming to rotate in. Fantasy going to pop off a Fisher here. Damage is going to be blocked by the pipe though. And Smurf looking for an opening. Taborson going to come forward a little bit too far. He's going to jump on top of him, and Taborson going to take a lot of damage. One more auto attack, he can go down, but Smurf taking a lot of damage in the middle of the fight as well. He has an Aegis available, though, so if he drops, he's coming right back. Helix needs to be careful. He's sitting... Oh, he hasn't taken that much damage, but he's running low on mana. Dirtthorpe going to take a ton of damage here. Tobacco going to come in. It looks like Whitebeard getting low as well. K-Phony bought back and came back into the fight. Deafening Blast is going to push him off, and now Smurf going to get sheeped up. K-Phony going to try and survive the laser on top of Smurf. Smurf going to come out of it, take out K-Phony for the second time, and now Smurf